Sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Since I come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Why don't you come on over and stop making a fool out of me? Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, 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 why don't you come on over, Valerie?
Hi, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Valerie, kind of the Amy Winehouse, Mark Ronson version, more than the original, which was by the Zutons, which is a fantastic track, the Zutons original one, but it's got a lot of guitar layers going on, and kind of a difficult one for me to teach and a difficult one to learn. But if you're getting into doing your layering guitar parts, you should be doing some transcribing anyway, so you might want to go and check out that original one. It's in the key of E flat, or played in the key of E, tuned down a semitone. I think that would be a good little starting point for you. And of course the chords are kind of roughly the same, just transposed to a new key. So if you want to get into the original one, go and get your ears wrapped around that. We're going to be looking at a slightly kind of simplified version of the Ronson one. I'll talk a bit more about what he's playing exactly as well, this little offbeat thing, but we're going to be looking at a kind of, yeah, slightly simplified one that you might want to play if you were playing this song by yourself at, you know, or playing it at a little barbecue or something like that. So a couple of chords that you might not be familiar with. The first one is a C major 7th chord. We've got a capo or capo on here, the 3rd fret, in case you hadn't noticed. To get a C major 7, we start with original C chord, and then we just lift off the 1st finger. So we won't be playing the thicker string, or mute it with the tip of your 3rd finger if you can. And then 3rd fret, 2nd fret, open, open, open. That's your C major 7th chord, okay? Now the other chord is a D minor 7 chord, one you might not be familiar with. We use the 1st finger there to bar the thinnest 2 strings at the 1st fret, and then we put 2nd finger in the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And for this chord we don't want to play the thickest 2 strings. Then it'll be open 4th string, 2nd fret, 1st fret, 1st fret. Okay? If you're playing that chord and you accidentally hit the 4th string, still sounds fine, but you really don't want to be playing that thicker string. That sounds pretty sour. So just aim for those thinnest 4 strings, and if you accidentally hit the 5th string, you know, don't beat yourself up about it too much. But all of the rest of the chords are fairly standard kind of chords. You've got an F chord in there as well. Hopefully you're beyond the point where you've conquered your F chord. So let's go through, first of all, just make sure that we got the chords sorted out nice first before we start looking at the rhythm parts. So it's quite a fast song really if we're going to count it. There's a few options for counting, but we're going to be counting it quite fast. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So C major 7, 1, 3, 4, out by myself. That's 4 bars of C major 7, then going to D minor 7 for 4 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, and back to C major 7 of all the things what you doing. And in my head I paint a D minor 7 for 4 bars. That's it for the verses, okay? So 4 bars of C major 7, 4 bars of D minor 7. One more time. So 1, 2, 3. Well, some C major 7, I go out by myself, and I look across the D minor 7 for 4 bars. And I C major 7 of all the things what you're doing. And in my head I paint a D minor 7 for 4 bars again. Then we're at the chorus. We're going to F for 2 bars, and then E minor for 2 bars. Back to F chord for 2 bars, then to E minor for 2 bars. Back to F chord, won't you come on over to E minor. Stop making a fool to a G. 2 bars and then 2 bars of G7, which is optional. You could stay on the G7. And then we're back to 4 bars of C major 7. And then 4 bars of D minor 7 again. So it's the same as the verses. Valerie, ba-da-ba, bum, ba-da-ba, Valerie. Now, that rhythm is probably getting a bit monotonous, right? So just playing those straight 4 strums to the bar, it does get a little bit repetitive and a bit, whoa, come on, what are you doing? It needs a little bit more life. So there's a few different approaches that you might want to try. If you want to keep it real simple, if you're still just at the learning point for your strumming or you're struggling with the strumming, just playing 2 strums to the bar, playing on beats 1 and 3 works pretty good. So just do it, well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. You can think of it as kind of half time if you want. So you could think 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and then to D minor. So you literally, and then the chorus would be F just for 1 bar. 2, 3, 4, F, a stupid head, and D minor, F and over, E minor. Stop making a fool out of G. Optional G7 if you want to, come on over, Valerie. Da-da-ba, bum, ba-da-da-ba, okay, so that's a kind of a nice option rather than just doing those relentless sort of strumming. But so a much nicer strumming pattern to use if you plan this one by yourself is to be playing the bass note of the chord, which for the C major 7 chord will be the 5th string, but it'll change with the chords. We'll talk about that in a sec. But bass note on the chord on beat 1, then a down strum on beat 2, and then up, down, up, which will be the and after 3, beat 4, and the and after 4. So real slowly, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and bass, chord, up, down, up, bass, down, up, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 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 2, 3, and 4. To D minor 7. Back to C major 7. Back to D minor 7. Into the chorus, F, to E minor, back to F, back to E minor, back to F, back to E minor, then to G. Optional G7 to C major 7. Valerie. Okay, really interesting little tune, this one. That sort of strumming pattern can really make it kind of come alive. It gives a little bit of a groove. Now, the original recording, the actual Mark Ronson version, is a lot simpler, and it's just really playing chips. So I was playing on the 2 and the 4, very common kind of a soul thing going on there. Doesn't really work so well with the open chords to be doing that because they want to be really tight. So you'd have to refigure out those chords just as very short little chips. Very tight. Now, kind of easiest to think of this stuff away from the capo. So if you're a beginner and you're not familiar with your bar chords and that sort of stuff, I'm about to take the capo off and call all of the chords different. So don't let it freak you out. Just maybe stop here and disappear. But you might be interested to see this stuff later. So we're taking the capo off now. Hopefully I'm still in tune enough. So without the capo, we'd be using this grip for an E flat major 7, which is the C major 7 chord with the capo at the 3rd fret. It gives us that E flat major 7. Nothing on the thicker string, 6th fret, 8th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, and then 6th fret again. That would be our E flat major 7, and then up 2 frets, we'd have our F minor 7. Which would be, instead of the D minor 7 chord that we had with the capo one, that would be nothing, then nothing on the thicker string, 8th fret, 10th fret, 8th fret, 9th fret, 8th fret. Again, you'd just be doing 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. So just strumming on beats 2 and 4 and pressing the chord down and then relaxing the chord. So very tight sound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. What you doing? In your head I paint a picture. Then of course we got that new part. We have A flat to G minor, back to A flat, to G minor, back to A flat, G minor, to B flat, B flat 7 if you wanted to play, and then we're back to the same chords as the intro. Okay, so that's kind of more what you'd be doing if you were doing the original Mark Ronson one. But that strumming I showed you before with the capo on there at the 3rd fret, that works really, really well over the top of it as well. So it's a nice one to be playing along with the original recording. So lots of, again, I love these sort of songs that can grow a lot. You can keep the strumming real simple. You've learned a couple of new chords. If you're in a kind of beginner intermediate guitar player, you might not be familiar with these major 7 chords and the D minor 7 open chord as well. You know, so you can play around with that. You can start making the strumming a little bit more exciting, and then you can look at maybe playing those bar chords. One for definitely an intermediate kind of guitar player should be looking at those, learning songs with using all of the bar chords as well, and looking at tightening that rhythm up and playing along with the original recordings and stuff like that. It's a really good way of locking your groove in. So I hope you have a lot of fun playing this song, and I'll see you for plenty more lessons very soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.